Hello, hello. Welcome. Hi. My name is Anjali, and welcome to the Blue Sky Friends um classes we have here almost every Friday of the month. How's everybody? Wow, it's nice. Even a small group is nice. I'm having some interesting technical difficulties. So I think sometimes when good things are happening, little bad things can happen too. Little obstacles. So um we're just gonna move with it. So I'm unexpectedly using my phone. I unexpectedly have no access to my notes. So I'm gonna have to go from memory today unless I have the good graces that my computer comes back on. So let's start. Uh, let's start now. And I just want to welcome everyone and thank you for coming. These classes, I feel, for me, are some of the most important things that we can pay attention to and learn about for our lives. All of us will have circumstances where we're faced with various changes, uh, unexpected things. We'll also be faced with friends that face unexpected things and life transitions. And today we're talking about the people that take care of other people who are going through transitions of this kind. And there's so many different kinds of transitions in life. So this class is about how can we pay attention to the people who are caregiving for others. And I mean in a pretty extensive way, that it becomes a part of their life, everyday life. How can we bring awareness to that circumstance? How can we bring more compassion to that circumstance? And how can we actually act in support of that circumstance? So each class, I offer uh, some kind of grounding tool where we're building a toolbox that we can do for ourselves, things we can do for ourselves, and the things that we can do to share with others who are going through different things. So we're going to begin with that first. And I'm a massage therapist, and I love sharing little tools from that discipline. And I studied a beautiful Japanese healing art called Jin Shin Jutsu. And it's designed to place the hands on different parts of the body in a light, gentle way, or do certain holds to help calm and relax and soften the nervous system and all sorts of other things. So, one of the things that I really find very helpful is there are finger holds. And the finger holds, each of these fingers relates to a different emotion. Uh, so the thumb relates to worry and fear. Well, mostly worry, I would say. Worry. The forefinger, fear. The third finger, anger. The fourth finger, grief or sadness. And the fifth finger, pinky finger, is kind of like you're just overdoing it, just working a lot and go, go, go. Almost like you're not going to get it all done. So we're going to do a finger hold. If you want to hold a certain finger, if you have a certain emotion right now, you can pick one of those five. I tend to pick the worry and fear together. So take your hands like this, and you can have the right hand grab the left thumb. Now, you can just relax like this if you want, but there's another little trick. I do fear and worry at the same time. So now point your pointer finger and grab the pointer finger. Yeah. And now just relax that hold on your lap. And then if you want, close your eyes. And you're just going to sit and breathe and pause for a moment to just let yourself be in your body. And you've made this little circuit with your hands that's giving a signal to your body, to the nervous system. You don't have to worry. You're safe. And you can notice the contact of your hands gently wrapped around the fingers. If you feel like you're squeezing them really hard, relax the hands. Let them just gently hold. Relaxing your shoulders. Relaxing your face, your head and neck. And just simply be and breathe. Scan your body. Notice if you feel any tension anywhere. Make an adjustment. Let the out breath release that tension. Maybe it's in the back of the neck or the shoulders. And then gently remembering why you're here. Joyfully remember what inspired you to come to find out a little bit more about different ways we can help others in need, and really celebrate your heart, your kindness and goodness for even caring about that. It's such a beautiful quality. And also rejoice a little bit in possibly taking away something from this hour together that could be of benefit to someone else that you know, someone else that's helping others that you can help a little bit. And then we'll gently transition, taking 3 nice, long, conscious breaths. When you're ready, release the hold, place the hands back to the lap, and slowly open your eyes. So I hope that was comfortable and helpful for each of you. And maybe you found you got some kind of feeling during that exercise. Uh, so today we are going to be talking about how to care for caregivers, right? And I think in a very general sense, what I'd like to do is just kind of touch on a few things, not give you all sorts of bullet pointed lists and things. It's more to bring about a sense of conscious awareness. So that's why I brought that into the title, is that how can we be conscious about helping others in this way? And so there's such a beauty in being aware of when someone is actually giving a fair amount of their time, a fair amount of their life to caring for one, even just one other living being. We underestimate how much effort that takes and what kind of energy is needed to sustain that over time. And also really paying attention to the fact that when that person uh, kind of takes a little break from that service, who takes care of them? And we'll find that there are a lot of examples in our world and in our lives, in our communities, where people don't have any extra attention, help, support when they come home from doing their service, or when they are physically in the home providing caregiving. So I in my mind, as I was preparing my notes, which I don't have in front of me, but that's okay. I'm working with just like sort of an outline of, it's not exhaustive by any means, but it will help us understand, I think, uh, different ways, different populations of people that are being cared for all the time. So I started off thinking about physical illness, for instance. Um, people people in hospitals, in hospice, uh, people at home being cared for when they have different types of illness, long-term illnesses like cancer, or they have uh, there's a couple of different things I was thinking of, like mm, I can't think of it right now, but you can imagine, and probably people who are dealing with a chronic illness. Then there's also mental illness, uh, people experiencing difficulty with their cognitive abilities, um, dementia, Alzheimer's, those who are depressed, bipolar, uh, different kinds of aspects related to post-traumatic stress. And we have so many people in the population that have experienced these things that you can be hospitalized for it, or people have to come to your home to help you. And then we have, for instance, disabilities. There are a lot of people that struggle with disabilities. I'm going to start with actually really one of the most important caregiving jobs that I think is underestimated, and that is mothers, new mothers, as well as mothers who are not so new mothers. And I can say that there are a lot of, just being a mother of a child is a huge undertaking. Now, I don't understand how even just two parents can take care of one child. It's a lot of work. Then you have sometimes single parents taking care of 7 children or 8 children. A former partner of mine came from a family of a single parent family, 7 boys, 1 girl. I said, how did she do it? And I met her. I met his mom. I asked her, I said, how did you do that? And she just said, This is really, really compelling to me. She said, love, my dear, love. You just love. And you show up to love those little beings until they're out the door. You just keep loving them. Yeah. And then, so there are just the sheer act of motherhood, a huge, huge endeavor. Um, in some people in my community, they've had babies here, and they need help. And it takes a village to help. It takes a village to help. Someone who's a new mother, someone in grief, someone taking care of another human day after day after day. So it's not just how we can help someone who's caregiving. How can we as a community? I'm going to talk about that in a second. Going back, um, disabilities, things like uh, mothers who've given birth to a child with Down syndrome or a learning disability or physical disabilities. Of course, we have people who've, they can't walk, or they've had a stroke and they're relearning how to walk and talk, and people who've had heart attacks. It's extremely difficult to recover from those kinds of health episodes, really life altering health episodes. So rehabilitation takes time, and it is extremely, extremely difficult for families. I've had this with some of my friends. Also, I myself, when my father long ago had an accident, and I was dropped what I was doing here in Sedona to go to Pennsylvania to care for him. And I don't think I've ever put that much of my life and heart into basically what turned out to be saving my father's life day to day to day until he was in rehabilitation. And then there was rehabilitation. It was a very lengthy process. And this happens all the time. We can talk about, like I said, physical illness, mental illness. We also have accidents, the disabilities that come from accidents and illness. And then we also have when people are facing a loss, facing a loved one that's dying, and sometimes that might take place, like I said, in a hospital, or it might take place in hospice, or it might take place at home. So I faced this a couple years ago when, again, at that time, my father was very ill. We didn't know. And he was taken to the hospital, and it found to have metastatic cancer in his whole body and not long to live. And so for over a week, my family and I were going to the hospital every day and doing different things. And for us, the it was a short process, a very intense process, a very short process. Um, I saw where we were helping each other. My brother would say, can I get food for everybody? Or I would bring something to the hospital for my family. We would all kind of pitch in to help. But I'm trying to imagine what it's like for people. And I have friends who've had their parent in hospice for years, tending to that being, who's it's there's a lot of suffering if someone is dying slowly and mentally very challenging. I've met women in women's circles I met one woman in a women's circle whose husband had dementia and had to be placed into a home. And the home was far away from her. And try to imagine, her mind is always on someone that doesn't even recognize her anymore, that she can't have that relationship, yet still a part of the caregiving. So there's so many different nuances with this. And I want to bring about some awareness around this aspect of how can we pay attention to what others are giving and experiencing. And remember, there's grief involved also, in the process of taking care of someone who's had misfortune. A lot of grief is there. There's anticipated grief. There's a lot of sadness about what could have been, about change. So I will use the example, and I'm going to use some examples from my own experience because that's really what I have mostly that I think has informed me and given me more compassion about these things, more awareness. I when my father was actively passing from hospital then to hospice in a very short time, maybe 8 to 10 days. It was about 10-day process. Things happening very quickly. I decided to stay in the hospital with him, in the chair. I would sleep in the chair in the hospital room with my dad. I could tell that he didn't want to be left alone in a hospital. And one night he looked at me because I said, "Okay, Dad, I'm going back to the hotel." He says, "You're not staying?" And he said, "There's a nice comfortable chair over there." And my dad he never, ever was like a needy type person, ever. But I could see in his eyes he was scared. And I had a healthy body that I can give, a healthy mind that I can give, and maybe losing some sleep wasn't such a bad thing. A little bit. I sat there with him and I was there all day, every day with him until he passed. Mm. During that time, I met a lot of doctors. I met a lot of nurses. I met a lot of hospice workers, case workers. I call these people the first responders. Well, I don't really call them that. There are many different first responders, but these caregivers are like angels. I was paying attention to what they were doing, what they had to do, because I was there. And they taught me how to turn my dad on the bed, how to wash his body, because you can't get up and take a shower anymore. He could not get out of the bed. As a massage therapist, I would massage his back, you know. I say, and no matter how I was feeling, there was so much attention on him. And then when I had a chance he would sleep, I would be quiet, and I would observe what the others who were caregiving were doing. And these people do it for so many people. So the awareness of just knowing that the nurse that comes into my dad's room goes to the next room and the next room and the next room for 10 to 12-hour shifts all day long. There could be emergencies, there could be all sorts of things they have to tend to. And I watched critical moments in that place, and it just cracked my heart open because I recognized what they do. And then I'm like, what is it like for them, especially also hospice workers who are literally watching people die? They know what's going on, and there's no effort other than to keep a person comfortable. Uh, they're not trying to save a life, they're trying to make your passing comfortable. It's an entirely different type of caregiving. And those angels, I think about when they go home, who takes care of them? Now, you might feel like, God, what can I do? So many caregivers in the world. there's so there's there are first responders. We just had fires up in the canyon here with over 1,000 firefighters fighting one fire. And in the United States right now, there's hundreds and hundreds of fires all over. Who's taking care of them? How can I take care of them? So I think and not to get overwhelmed, because all of us might be like, oh my God, I can't take care of all those people. It's a lot of people. What we need to do is let the awareness of this, I think this is the crux of it for me. And then that will inspire us to do something, even one little thing, to let the awareness of that crack the heart open. Just let it open your heart and open the heart to a place of gratitude. Gratitude, appreciation. That gratitude goes a long way. Because now that your heart is open to that appreciation and gratitude, that heart can do something. And even if it's just this, and honestly, this is the best I could do when I was in basically tending my father's passing, witnessing the angels taking care of him. I would just go up to those angels and say, thank you. Thank you. I, I'd give them maybe a little of what I had for a snack. I would say, are you hydrating? Are you getting enough water? Do you get a chance to sit down during the day? I talk to them like they're people. They're not just serving me and serving my dad. They are people who have given a part of their life energy. You can't give their life energy back. Giving their life energy to my father, to my family. Just one person and one family. And yet they're giving that to other people on the floor and their families, if they have families, right? A lot of people in hospice don't have anybody at all. So, what I'm sharing here is um, awareness and paying attention, I feel, are the first step. Probably in a future uh, class, I will share more about like details, of this. I think there's so much detail to it, but just to start, can we pay attention to what others are doing to care for others? I'm paying attention, and I know this, it might be touching your heart some a little bit, right? It's I just I want to give attention to that and love, and I see you. I see you. Because each of us may have somebody who's going through this, or you might have gone through this. Um, and all of this awareness is what helps us open our heart. And so it's showing appreciation, gratitude, small gestures. There's uh, in many traditions, all sorts of different traditions or religions, there are stories, uh, examples of how one can pay attention to these kinds of things. And one such is story. It comes from a Himalayan tradition, and there was this spiritual man whose name was Jampa, and Jampa was very, very, very attentive human who paid attention to the needs of people. Anybody coming into a room, he'd look where their eyes would go and say, "Oh, I think they want a banana. Oh, I think they look cold." Or, you know, or he remembered if they were visiting a second time the things that they liked. And I think this is a very, very beautiful quality. I have a good friend who always remembers that, how I like my tea. And when I go to their house, they're like, honey and lemon? So the reason I bring up Jampa and this story, because there's a longer story to it, but essentially someone who, a person walks in the door, you're so attentive of them, probably less attention is on yourself. You're looking. What is somebody else doing? How are they feeling? What do they need? Cultivating this awareness, this consciousness is the essential step in cultivating empathy and compassion for another, that is it, just going through life, let alone someone who might be grieving, someone who might be exhausted from caregiving. So I feel paying attention to these things is really, really, really the biggest piece when we are approaching circumstances that where people are giving their lives to help us, like those firefighters, 1,000 firefighters, so that people's property doesn't get burned up, or you know, uh, trying to save people and animals. And there's so many aspects. It just happened. Yeah, the fire's contained. I didn't have one hand in that. Not a single little drop of Anjali was involved in that, other than some virtue, some goodness in my heart, which, that counts for something. And then I heard the stories of the volunteers that volunteered to help the firefighters. And that's what I wanted to find out more about. What people dropping off supplies, doing things to help them. So touching. How can I get involved? I didn't know until it was too late. Somebody said to me, yeah, there's people doing these things. And I said, oh, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. So you can find out about stuff. You can learn and then take a step to do something small. You don't have to do something, overarchingly big. A woman in a women's circle that I'm a part of here in Sedona, uh, she had a hip replacement, and her mother came to caregive for her, and someone in the community immediately, and I don't know this woman very well, but like one of her close friends pulled together a meal train. It's called Meal Train. And I love this app. It's going to be my new favorite app. Meal Train is setting up a schedule where you can volunteer to bring a meal to someone who needs it, who's recovering from an accident or operation or illness or grieving even. And the community comes together to bring a meal to this person. And who does that actually help? Well, I think it helps two people. It helps the person that is healing, and it helps the person who's caregiving. Because then that caregiver does not need to think about the food, to cook food, buy food, do all that work. They can tend the person they're tending. So I saw this meal train come in, and you can volunteer to bring one meal or send a gift card or send someone DoorDash something they like, and all the likes of the person were thought about. Somebody really, really asked her, said, "Hey, what do you like?" "I like food from here," she said. "I like food from here. I don't want gluten. I don't think it's good for me to have this." And in her healing process, and then this was the best part. She shows up to the last women's circle with of her friend with a walker. And I looked at her, and I've seen her before. I've seen her at different circles before. She was glowing, glowing. She looked healthy, and healthier than the last time I saw her. And the community that came in to help her in that way, I feel, made a difference in her experience and recovery from that procedure. So, um, so what I'm going to invite now, and I want to make sure I have the time right. This is why I'm kind of messing around with my phone. Let me just see. Yeah, I have a few minutes left. So, I would like to invite each of us to think about, there's two things, how we can cultivate more awareness. This is something I think I want to be the biggest takeaway. Paying attention, letting the experience of others and what we see touch us, open us. And then the second thing is, what small things can we do to help someone else? What small things can we do? And then the third takeaway is, how can we invite and involve others so that it's not just a single person, but it's a village that's taking care of that one person that is taking care of another person. And you can apply that to somebody who's also in grief, but I want to really bring awareness to the caregivers because they are often forgotten, very often forgotten. So I'd like to invite you to think about, like, maybe there's somebody in your life already, right now, who you know is really extending themselves, maybe taking care of a parent who has dementia, or maybe someone tending someone who's in hospice. They go there to visit their loved one. Maybe it's a mother who has, a child with special needs. Maybe it's a first responder that, someone who is a firefighter or a doctor. And I'm just going to invite, you to share in the chat. I hope I can see it. I think it will. If the chat is opened up, I would appreciate that. Um, if and just share what ways we can appreciate those people from our hearts. If we can't do anything right this second, can we just express that appreciation? And then one small thing that maybe we could do, even if it's a phone call. How are you? You know, do you need anything? One little something, one little drop in the bucket can make a big difference. And if we can't do the chat, that's okay. Um, uh, Also, because I know that this is being translated and whatnot, but interpreted, I should say. But like these contemplations, really, and let it inspire you. I think that the inspiration of allowing the difficulties and even the difficult times, the things that seem almost overwhelming, we can use them to open our hearts on this journey of life, and it can help us become better humans, kinder humans, more compassionate humans. And I'm so grateful, and I'm really grateful that someone just put something in the chat that I can't read, but that's okay because there's someone else on this chat that can read it. Yeah. And that's good because you're contributing something good. Yeah. Um, we're on the path of love. And love is the most important thing. We have so much to give, so much love in our hearts. That's why we grieve. That's why we see things that we want to help, and even if we feel a little limited in that, we still have a desire to want to do something. That's why we want to open our hearts and grow our capacity. So that's what I have for today. I'm sure there was more in my notes, but I just feel like I touched where I wanted to touch today to give you some contemplative ideas to think about. And because it starts there, it starts with awareness and compassion. It starts with paying attention and having appreciation and gratitude. Developing it. I would say not just having it, because it's not always there. Sometimes we might feel frozen. I don't know what to say or feel or think. Let it go in there to open something to the gratitude, develop the gratitude and the appreciation. So I think that's what I have today. And I again, with my phone, I can't see the clock. So I'm guessing I'm almost to the hour. Is it almost 8 o'clock? AZ time there? Do you see that?
It's
Yes.
1 minute till an hour, but
Okay.
you have one hand up, hand raised.
Anna. Yes. Okay. I see. I see now. Would you like to say something?
Если можно, если мне кто-то переведет. Я хочу рассказать просто историю прямо
I
на эту
want to
тему.
say
Живую
the
историю.
story, very live story.
Can someone translate that for me? Or
Кто-
interpret that?
Кто-то может помочь перевести?
Вы должны быть, вас должны переводить на английский, русский переводчик.
Угу.
Анна,
Но тогда
Анна,
не получится.
можете, подождите. Анна, можете переводить на английский с русского?
Нет, я не смогу сейчас на
Yes,
английском.
I translate in English
Окей.
channel.
Вас переводят на английский, поэтому говорите.
Yes,
спасибо.
please.
Dear Angeli and everyone, please go to English channel.
Oh, thank you.
You have English channel and find it in the globe icon in 3 dots, maybe. Can you do it, Angeli? On
I
your
don't know
phone?
how to do that right now, right at this moment. We
Okay,
can figure that out though. Maybe I can figure it out with Gina. But
On your
we're
phone,
on the
you can find 3 dots.
Oh yeah, okay. But we're going over the time and I have to honor my my staff here and the people.
Okay.
Because I'm on a phone, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too complicated. I apologize.
Я тогда смогу ей написать эту историю.
Okay,
Спасибо.
I will write you. I will write you
Да,
the
не
story
получилось, но
in the chat.
Yeah. Well, maybe Anna, if you would like to share what you want to share today, in if you go to Blue Sky Friends and you can write an email to us, and I want to hear what you have to say. I really, really do. And I want everyone here to hear it too, so I can bring it to the next class. Does that sound okay? Yeah. Good. I hope so, because I really do want to hear it.
Да, благодарю. Thank you.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, then in order to honor my dear Worldview, the Worldview production staff, we need to end here. I don't want to end. I'd love to talk with you more. And also, I just want to acknowledge the sensitivity of the subject. I'm sending a lot of love to you. Raisa, is that your name? Raisa? Raisa? I don't know. Yeah. A big hug, because I know something was very tender for you during this and you still had to translate through the whole thing. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And feel free to write me also if you would like. I want you to know that Blue Sky offers complimentary support. And don't feel shy to reach out to us, okay?
Anjali, you were translated into Russian and also and Spanish. So 3 languages translation for three languages. Sorry.
Yes, I see Gabby. Mm-hmm.
And Anna, another Anna is translating you into Russian.
Oh, good. Okay. Maybe I don't see her on the call, but that's great.
Thank you so much to everyone, tech team and translators. Thank you, Anjali.
Yes, thank you. All right, be well, everyone. And again, please feel, there's Anna. I see her now. Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. And the host, Anastasia, thank you so much. And everybody, it's very nice. It's a nice, heartfelt group. I will see you again soon. If you want to reach out right away. I'm free, okay? Much love to all. Okay.